It's 3:30.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Louis here. Welcome to Asia Business Talk Show, the preferred platform for business owners, investors, regulators, and talents is for us to drive a constructive communication globally and to solve the latest business challenges. Let me introduce the panelists of today. Yi Hao, Senior Managing Partner of ACMF BOSR Consulting. Steve Buns, Senior Managing Partners of ACMF BOSR Consulting. Nikki, Senior Managing Partner of ACMF Business Application. Kizun, Senior Managing Partner of ACMF Human Capital. Yin Hai, Senior Managing Partner of ACMF Human Capital. And the host of today, Senior Managing Partner of ACMF Strategy Alliances. And myself, Louis, Head of Global Strategy, ACMF Strategy and Growth. And all the details and contact of the speakers, panelists, and the host, you can able to get it from the Facebook ACMF group. So allow me to introduce, without further ado, let me introduce the first speaker, Lai, founder of Global Mission. Lai has his engineering in electrical and electronic from Sheffield Hallam University, UK. And also he has his advanced diploma in electrical and electronics engineering from Tar College, Tunku Abdul Rahman College. And he has 20 years of experience in industrial automation, instrumentation, drives, and SCADA, and install and upgrade more than 500 machines, install over 100 robots, and install over 1,000 sensors, and deliver projects over 10 countries. And the core business is control panel design and build, ERP, MES solution, factory automation, and etc. And feel free to ask questions pertaining the topic of Lai in Zoom chat room, and we will answer it if we have enough time. So let's welcome SW Lai, remote control and check and balance for your facilities. Let me hand over the sharing to Lai now.
Thank you, Louis. Let me share my screen. Everything okay?
Yep, good.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. They call me the one that you can rely on because we build reliable systems. Today, we're here to share with you remote control and check and balance. Again, my focus is mainly on industrialization for factories. Let me move on. One moment, yeah. This is a brief introduction, which is also introduced by Louis. Okay, so this is what we do in the past 20 years. And then this is our team and our facility in Shah Alam, Section 27, all right, in Malaysia. As a business owner, as entrepreneurs, at top management, we always have a lot of concerns, especially during these difficult times. Yeah. So we have to think, even now, okay, if our business are ongoing, are we ready to travel? What if after 28th of April, after the MCO uplifted, is it safe to travel? We have to think. Yeah. At the same time, because we need to make business decision, we need information, we need data. So we are not having a full team, okay, because the guideline is 50% workforce. So how do we get accurate data in this case? Will our system be secure, okay, over the cyber world and all that? Yeah? So these are the concerns and questions we have to think of. basically, what we can share here is use the technology, okay, mainly from Industrial Revolution 4.0. Now, there are 11 technology drivers or pillars, so-called. So it's a big topic, it's complicated, but as far as we are concerned, it's actually a journey for all of us, not a one-off project. So we would like to share with you where we can easily start from and utilize the technology to help us, and step by step, we build a better platform. So as far as we are concerned, again, system integration. Louis, do you see the pointer? Everything okay?
So far, so good. Yes.
Thank you. System integration, in short, is just connectivity between your machine and your system, your IT backbone. Either it's an ERP, it's another accounting software, and so on. Yeah. So because the technology is never easily talk to each other, so it's a need to link them up together. IoT, Internet of Things, is a big topic now. For factories, it helps us to build smart factory. That's where it comes from. So these are tools to help us to visualize the system integration. Then mustn't forget cyber security. This is again a big topic. We have our partner Steve, who is specialized in this one. So after that, we move on to topic like big data, AI, and so on. It's a journey that can be implemented from time to time. Remote control, check and balance. Okay, we would like to introduce a concept called OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. And then with that, there will be real-time information to, okay, without having us to call our team every day. They are short in hand, not enough people to work. If you want to call them, then it's creating more problem. Yeah. Then would you like to have your ears and your eyes in your factory 24/7? Machines, various of machine, sometimes different age, okay, different generation, different country of origin, different specification. Would you like that to be linked or to a platform, a dashboard, any system that you can measure performance and quality and availability? In the past, many of us just focus a lot of the production output, how many pieces per hour, how to achieve our production yield. But that number sometimes may not able to reflect the actual production capacity and actual situation, because you have to take in consideration for the quality control, how many rejects, do you think you'll pass 100%, or what's the percentage like? Next, how about the machine availability, your system availability? Yes, you have scheduled maintenance time, the scheduled downtime, but don't we all face sometimes unplanned things happen? A motor was burned, a tool was bent or even broken, unplanned. So what is the decision making at that moment? Yeah, shall we shift the customer order to the next machine? And what is the available machine who is having the same setup like mold and all that, so that we can ship it correctly, make correct decision at the same time. Yeah? These are some of the example of the dashboard that we can utilize. Okay, if generally it gives us an overview of the equipment uptime in the facility, what is happening. Well, we would like to prefer to see all of them green, okay, and as minimum yellow, which could be idle, waiting, setup, or even red, which is in trouble, we cannot run. Yeah. Similarly, over here, we can have a quick view of our customer orders. Okay, if it's green, good. Yeah, it's on time, it's safe. Yellow, well, it could be late. Yeah. And mustn't forget other colors like blue and so on, even gray, which it seems problem. Yeah. So wouldn't all of us want to have a peace of mind so that we can stay focused? So with this information at your fingertip, so hopefully that helps. We have just came across talking about internal department, internal issues, and how does the technology help us. Have we ever also venture or explore that could be tools for our sales team? Sales team has always get the attention, is important, essential for all businesses because it is a profit center, all right? Can we also explore giving that tools because it's real time to update customer order status real time? From all the experience and sharing from some of our friends and clients, their sales team sometimes not only facing the pressure to meet the sales target, close sales, but many of the time is occupied by answering customers' calls, email, and all that. Just to check whether when they can get their parts. Isn't it good that they will have another system or maybe another department who can handle the order fulfillment and let the sales team do their work and focus, yeah? And even though we can further explore and uplift that to convince the customer on your existing production capacity so that you can win more orders. As far as we are concerned, winning orders, not only you must have the lowest price, but quality, for sure, you have to be the best quality. Sometimes, if you are able to deliver on time, your speed, that can help you a lot in winning orders. This is an example. You can find many ways to visualize this, either through a tablet, through cell phone, and whatever. Even you can publish on the web with certain simple setup, okay? So you can allow different customers to log in to only view their own orders. So they also have the confidence and again, they have the peace of mind. Then if they're happy, I'm sure that they'll give you more orders or they'll work with you for a much longer time. Okay. Now, as conclusion, the key benefits if we were to enjoy and utilize, make use of this digital transformation technology, especially that we are in the era that, local market could be shrinking, but many say that we are also open up to many opportunity abroad, okay, out of town and so on. Sales and marketing, our profit center, yeah, bringing new value to customers. Okay, you let them feel their orders visibility, delivery status, and also your production capacity to convince new customers that you can produce on time. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? I believe all of us have experienced ordering from e-commerce. Now, after you place your order, make payment, you will have an automatic system to track the delivery for you. But would it be good if you give your customer another level of experience? Let's take car for example. If you order a BMW, the moment that you confirm your order, would it be nice if you know, oh, your car is actually, chassis is under painting, your engine is under testing, yeah, your gearbox is being assembled, it's being test run, and you expect your car in next 1 week, example, yeah. Look into operation. This time we talk about different dashboard, different information. Remote control, and the keywords here is real time. Many of us say, well, in the past, I used to get reports. Okay, I can make a phone call, I can get the data. But again, would be nice if you can access it anytime and anywhere. Yeah. Then, if you look into human resource, another perspective, especially now, many of the office and management staff will still have to work from home. So would you like to explore a better way to do check and balance and to measure their efficiency and also their KPI in a more transparent way? Again, we also used to say, would you like to have your ears and your eyes 24/7 for you? Thank you so much. That will be all. I'll stop sharing. Back to you, Louis. One moment. Thank you.
Thank you, SL Lai. Yeah, the panels, feel free to participate or to add anything from your side.
Hi, Lai, this is Yihao. I have a question. So you're saying that the market is shrinking, the GDP is shrinking, then the market actually is growing with the solutioning, especially particularly for Malaysia. There are some businesses fall under essential service, I believe, like partial open. Some are actually still fully locked under the Malaysia Movement Control or AKA MCO. So how can you value them or help them, their business, to activate the remote control, to check and balance, especially for the facility at this moment? And if you can enable that, typically, how long does it need to deploy the project, say 5 machinery in the production line? Thank you.
Thanks, Yihao. That'd be a good question because speed is the key now. Yeah, everyone want to rush back into the market and into business. Generally, and from the experience, we need for 5 machines about 4 weeks, including system integration, study of what you have, connect it up, testing, and deploy, pre-run. About 4 weeks.
Okay.
Can I check what level of autonomy do you get with the IoT? So if you have this applied to your machines, does it reduce the amount of manpower down to one person supplying the raw materials, or I assume it depends on the machine, but what kind of level of autonomy do you get?
Thanks, Steve. Do you mind to elaborate a little bit further? I need to understand your question better.
Well, I assume the IoT is to mean you can do things remotely, so you don't need as many staff in the factory. So what level of kind of remote control do you get on the machine?
In the past, before the data has been digitally connected, so we have clients who send out every shift, there's one personnel to go up around the factory to record around 50 machines, all the data, come back to their office, plot into graph, and then email out to everybody. So with that, we can say you can have saving for every shift, at least 1 to maybe 2 person.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
I have a question, Lai.
Hi, Nikki.
If a factory with mixture of old and new machines, so do we, in order to have this IoT in place, do we need to replace all the old machines in order to implement that?
Thank you. That's a common question we usually get. And I believe, again, if we talk about Industrial 4.0 initiative, many of the business owners are very concerned about this point, because replacing or throwing away new machine and put in new one, sometimes it does involve much more than the capital expenditure, the money that you buy new machines, involve setup time, your opportunity loss risk, that you have orders in hand and all that. The answer is yes, okay? Because of our past experience, we work from relay logic, where you don't see any controller, you open the control panel, there's a bunch of lights just blinking, and the cable are massive, just like the movie Anaconda anyway. So from that experience brought up to, we implement controllers, okay? We implement touch screen that you can imagine in the past, one machine, you need 2 persons to work. Now, after done that, you can have 1 person to control 3 machines and so on. And furthermore, with our experience, we also venture into integration to system, ERP, and all that. So again, the answer is yes. If the customer having difficulty with how to upgrade or digitize or connect their older machine, we are there to help. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Back to you, Louis.
Thank you, Lai. There's a question from a participant. Would like to know that, is it for IoT, do we need a 5G to support it? Or actually is what type of architecture needed for this successful deployment?
Good question. That's also a very common concern of everyone. 5G is a cellular network, okay? That we are free to choose in combination of wired network and wireless network or even cellular network. Again, allow me to rephrase it in an easier understanding sentences. You can tap on your existing category 5 or 6 existing network. Yeah, you just have to add on the switches and make sure all the IP address is available.
So that means be it a current 3G, 4G, or Wi-Fi or fiber, good enough
Is
to support the deployment.
Yes. Allow me to add on. 5G consideration mainly comes into cloud computing, cloud hosting. Yeah, there's another bigger topic. I believe Steve also can help to answer that later. Thank you.
Yeah. And this one probably a bit technical or it may not be relevant, but feel free if you think it's not relevant. Because when you move into investment like this, so as a business owner, we will start to consider what is extra capex and also what is extra opex that I'm looking at. And by looking into the extra capex and opex, then the next question I will ask is what is my return on investment and all that. So your side, do you support a client on calculating ROI model, or how the clients shall proceed with this area? Because staying put, they have already a set of accounting or the financial performance they didn't know. But by introducing a new element, then the business owner may not know it already. So they might want this to be answered. So is that, yeah, over to you, Lai. Is it?
Yeah, yes, we do help our customer to do ROI, return on investment calculation. But of course, that sometimes we also will highlight the intangible value that you get.
For example, what type intangible value the customer should expect? Because normally when we do investment at time in any business, financial side, we normally tie to those like increase in sales revenue. Of course, this can be caused by production increase or increase in profit margin due to the machine or the system can produce a more premium product now or better quality that meet higher standard or help the company to save costs. So these are the area normally we look at, but we talk about a non-financial measure. We also look into like the well-being of the employee, the percentage of the accident rate should be reduced significantly, and the employee or the factory workers' well-being, like the emotional, are they stressful, are they harmful to the body, and then also regulatory license passing. So these are mainly area that we consider when we are making investment decision. So for your particular product line, so which are the area you normally focus on actually?
Thank you, Louis. We focus on actually both sides. Let's say, for example, financial. Let's say cost saving. Okay, with IoT, with the proper collection of, let's say, example, the reason of reject under quality control. Okay, the system can populate the root cause. For example, is caused by raw material. Then they can take corrective action and immediately keep it handled. Yeah.
Is this such a system that allow a factory, after they got it implemented, then as a result, they can supply to a bigger client? Like last time, if let's say they only supply to SME and large enterprise, but because implementing such a system, it allows them to supply to multinational company that have more stringent requirement. Is this such a case?
Yes, under IoT, under system integration, there's an element called traceability. For example, food and beverage industry and pharmaceutical. In the past, if you just have data, handwritten, temperature, humidity, for example, so sometimes that doesn't pass the requirement. Because, and furthermore, their sensor need to be calibrated from time to time and so on. So with this technology, so the data was being checked for their integrity, accuracy, and how it's being collected. And of course, there is backup and all that.
Yeah.
So they can approach a bigger potential customer.
Yeah, from the panel, is there any comment or any?
Lai Ginhai here from Human Capital. So our field of work, we deal a lot with business owners who are frustrated with employees or employee costs and things like that, especially during this MCO period. So I guess the question here is, if a company or a business in manufacturing line that had implemented this versus one that had not, what would the potential impact or benefit of it be? And second follow-on question to that is, with this kind of higher technology implemented, would it be a requirement to have higher skilled staff or employees to operate the business?
Thank you, Ginhai. This is a very interesting topic. First of all, the first questions, example, for those without the system in place. So example, KPI measurement and all that. So it could be not as easy and it could be not as transparent. Okay. Why? For example, with IoT or this technology in place, operator number A, he worked in front of the machine for 2 hours and all that, and the machine production and the reject rate is at certain level. So it's all automatically captured and populated. There's, you can save a lot of time to manually data entry and report the graph and all that. And at the same time, if the management were to present and discuss with the staff, employee, so, and if they can show that how the data being captured accurately, so they are being convinced in a way. The second question is a very interesting question. Can you, do you mind to elaborate a little bit further? Thank you.
Okay. So first question actually not quite fully answered yet, because in terms of like during this MCO period, if a company that have implemented this versus a company that have not implemented this, what would be the different impact, the difference in the impact on the two companies? Interested to see whether is something that companies should consider to prevent being caught off guard by situations like this.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Let me see. Now, from the first questions, actually now we have some feedback from friends and customers as well. So those who were to work, okay, under the 50% workforce, they feel unfair because, example, so everyone is getting the same pay, they are having a bigger risk, okay? So they feel that their performance review is not being done fairly and properly. So with the system in place, that the owner can make use of the report to justify that even further. Hopefully that somehow can help you to answer this question.
Yeah.
So I think the second question was about the skill level of employees that's required.
Skill level is, for example, in the past, they are doing a lot of pen writing and jot down data. With the system, they do need to do that step anymore, especially for foreign workers who don't like to hold pens and write something. Their writing is not good anyway. Then again, in the past, many of them have to read some production report. For example, you have to choose a material A and B to put in a machine to run. So now they can just use a barcode scanner, for example, to scan. If it's matched green color, okay, this is the correct material. So skill level sometimes it can be the same or even easier to train new employees.
Okay, so there's a misconception that I think I and maybe others had, that with higher technology you actually need a higher skill, but that's not the case, yeah. So actually it will be easier to find the people, or rather you have a lesser requirement for the staff that you hire now.
Yes, for operation level. For system maintenance, of course, you have your IT system team there usually. And this system is not very different from the ERP and other IT software architecture-wise. Let's talk about OPEX, some hardware sensor. So we are using about the same level of sensor and technology commonly available. So the maintenance team can also take care of that as well.
Right. Okay, thanks. So from what I gathered, in that case, it's actually a company that has implemented this. They, as you spoke earlier about, you actually can reduce the manpower, actually increase the production reliability, quality, and actually lesser skilled worker for the operation side, the frontliners. So in actual fact, then a company who had implemented this, potentially their overheads could actually be reduced in the long run.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think
Yes.
I would like to invite Steve into discussion. Steve,
Yes.
there is an interesting discussion about the security and the healthcare. Don't mind you share your opinion about this topic as well with all of us?
Yeah, well, the question was, what's the future for medical IoT? Which is obviously going to grow. We have clients that are in that area. The fact that you can monitor people, loved ones, 24/7, you can check their temperature, their blood pressure, without having to wake them up. You know, it's just constantly monitoring is very powerful. So it's definitely going to increase. One of the issues we have to be careful with, and Lai touched on this earlier, is the security of these devices. Obviously, if it's your smart light switch at home as an IoT device, it could be a bit annoying if someone turns your lights on and off, but it's not dangerous. Whereas obviously when it comes to medical information, that's very precious. So one of the issues in the industry right now, certainly for medical IoT, is the security aspect, which a lot of companies just simply slap in the IoT functionality and say, look, we have a medical device that's IoT, without thinking about the security consequences. So that's something that will have to be taken into account. But then, as I said in the message, the IoT devices are just a tool, so they should still be required to live up to the same standards as any form of medical data storage. You know, whether the companies that are implementing it are doing it is on the companies, but then they should also be responsible.
Thank you, Steve. I think I'll take one reply from Lai, then we can move to the second speaker. Lai, do you have anything to add in addition to what Steve have mentioned? Anything you want to share?
Yes, I totally agree with Steve. Could another example, casino was being hacked. Customer data was leaked out through CCTV, which is IoT. As serious as that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lai. Thank you, everyone, for the participation and the contribution. Let me share my screen. Yeah, is it possible to take a poll and so that we because every session will take one poll to assess the any area improvement, so that we use it as a feedback to continue improving.
For the participants, feel free to give us your feedback.
Yeah. Okay, well, I would like to proceed to introduce the next speaker. The next speaker is Angeline Yi, the Managing Director and CEO of Inspire Life International. Angeline is trusted pioneer practitioner in Asia Pacific RTT area, creator of Be Beautiful, creator of Bring Out the Winner Bow in You, creator of Ultimate Integrity. So Angeline has been featured in reputable media such as ASEAN Women of Power, Channel W, Bernama, Utusan Malaysia, Halian Metro, China Press, and BFM 89.9. So the core business of Angeline is an international speaker, author, rapid transformation trainer, and coach. And feel free to ask questions pertaining to the topic in chat, Zoom chat room, and we'll answer your question if you have enough time. And let's welcome Angeline. The topic is immediate transformation, strategies for business sustainability now and next. So I stop sharing and then pass over the screen to you.
Thanks, Louis. Let me just share. Okay. So, hello everyone. Very glad to be here in this very moment. I purposely chose this photo to represent the situation that most business owners are at this moment. So many business owners now feel like as if they're hanging on a cliff, on a dangerous cliff, you know. The heart is racing fast, the adrenaline is pumping fast, tired, challenged, anxious, and keep on saying, oh, I can't let go, I must get back up safely. And the first question that comes to mind is, what about my business? If there is no business, then there is no income. And if, of course, if there is no income, how am I supposed to pay my staff? How am I supposed to take care of my family? Then the mind begins to get clouded with fearful imaginations. So these are valid questions. The only thing is, in this panic and shocking moments, many business owners continue to spiral down with a heightened anxiety, anger, frustration, stress, and some falling even into depression. So it is definitely not doing any good, and I am here to share some simple strategies that we all can adopt immediately in ensuring our business sustain, not just for now, but also moving forward. So I am Angeline, and as what introduced by Louis, I also serve passionately and powerfully over 13 countries, over 4 different continents. So I empower my clients to have a total mind shift in emotion, mental, and behavioral aspects so that they can get what they want in their life as well as in their business. So in this presentation, it is my hope that by the end of it, all of you first will have all the awareness and clarity on how the mind works. Secondly, to experience the power of your mind. And we are going to have a short little exercise to demonstrate this. Third, to know the impact of your mental state. Yeah, especially the impact of it to your particular business. The last and but not the least is to realize the significance of having a childlike mentality in business strategy. So how does our mind work? Some say that the mind is so complex, it is so difficult to understand, but fact is, it is not. It is simple, and I'll share one of the very important components on how it works. So you see, in all great developments trainings, all respectful gurus like Anthony Robbins, T. Harv, they always said one thing, which our thought creates our feeling, and then it creates the action, and then from action, it creates the results of it. Yeah. So thought leads to feeling, leads to action, which leads to results. However, behind our thoughts, and this is very important, everyone, is the picture and the words. And that is why certain words trigger different emotions in us and also different reaction. The moment the person hears about certain words, it gets triggers. And even when we look at certain pictures, the mind is able to recall all sorts of emotions, memories, who is in it, and what happened at that particular point of time, giving us that thought. And to just know how powerful the mind, how powerful words can be, the same photo or picture that we hold on to, for example, we are holding on a kindergarten graduation photo. As we saw the photo, we are performing, we can recall how exciting it was, how grand it was, you were smiling. And then as we smile, but then we say that it is already in the past. It is pointless to think of it. And then the thought that comes out from it, the thoughts that has been generated out from that words that we say, it becomes like the whole entire thought becomes like meh, nothing. And then it refocuses itself to other things, just move on. But if we hold on still and we say that this is really treasurable and I can show this next time to my kids, and the thought immediately puts attention to it and making sure that you place that photo and keep it safely. And to make this point, to make it even more powerful, I would like all of you to do a simple, quick, fascinating experience. Yeah. So most of the attendees, some of the attendees here that join us, they have experienced this because they have joined me in my YouTube and my Zoom session. But I would like to invite everyone right now to just close your eyes. Everyone in the panel to just close your eyes. I'm just going to stop sharing. Just close your eyes for a moment. And I want you all to just take a deep breath, close your eyes, and hold your right hand right in front of you. Hold it right in front of you, straight in front of you, and then imagine that you are holding on a big, fat, fresh lemon in your hand right now. Imagine that you are holding a big, fat, fresh lemon right in your hand, and right now you pull that lemon and you pull it closer to your nose, and you take a smell of that big, fresh lemon. You can smell how wonderful the lemon is. It's so fresh. And then you open up your mouth. You open up your mouth, and you put that big, fat, fresh lemon into your mouth and giving it one real big bite. Feel the lemon juice coming out into your mouth. Oh my gosh, so sour and so refreshing. And now I want you all to just open up your eyes. So tell me, what happened and how do you feel? How do you feel?
It feels sour.
Sour, right? Feels
Yeah.
really, really sour.
Yeah.
And you can feel that both your jaws here is squinching, and immediately you make up a lot of saliva inside your mouth. Now, the question is, the lemon, is it real or imaginary, right? Is there a real lemon when you bite on it? There is none. It is imaginary, but when you do it, why is it that the saliva is coming out to your lower jaws, and then you can taste, literally taste the sour, the freshness of, you can even smell that smell of the lemon. So the point that I'm making here is for you to be aware that it doesn't really matter whether it is real or imaginary. Yeah, the brain listens to each and every word that we say. So when we describe the words, the picture will come out and voila, it gives you exactly that thought, yeah, in that brain. And those thoughts give you that feeling, and the body starts to react to it, and hence the outcome as if you're really, really biting on it. So if I had added on, when you bite, you taste how bitter the lemon skin is. You can even taste how bitter the bitterness as well. Yeah. So you see, if you are not careful with the words and the pictures, yeah, for example, you say things like, shit, my business is doomed, and then the mind is going to create that picture that you are fearful of, yeah, literally, and the brain goes on to process that this is what you want and manifest on it. It doesn't really matter whether you want it or not. The moment you picture on it, it comes. And it comes, when it comes, it will get manifested. So ladies and gentlemen, can you see how dangerous this can be to your business and in fact, every aspect of our lives? Yeah. So how the outcome is being created? Just now we have gone through briefly on the thoughts, yeah, and experiencing it. Another creation of thought is our belief system. How you see this world depends on what kind of lens do you have in your mind. Yeah, and belief systems are made up of all the experiences we have had since we were created in our mother womb. And whatever that is happening around us, the situation is the same, but the experience of it is very, very different. And either we react or respond to it is a matter of choice. If you're seeing things in life with positive, good lenses, then high possibility is that many of us will make good choices that will bring you more light. However, compared to many people out there who wears negative lenses, for example, fearful lenses, judging lens, angry lens, then obviously they will react negatively to it. And the last element in creating the outcome is the environment. A healthy environment such as supportive, transparent, cooperative environment creates better outcome. In contrary to negative environments such as blaming, having politics, overly competitive environment that creates a bad outcome out of it. And to quickly resolving that desperation and anxiousness about our business, aside from changing our thoughts, is to have a childlike mentality. And just to point out that childlike mentality is significantly different from being childish. Yeah, I'm sure all of you still remember how it feels like of being a child, right? We are being very adventurous, energetic, fearless, fun. We are curious and we are very creative. If our parents can't afford to buy us the things that we want, we will find a way to create it. We are, we are just like, when the mom gets angry, even if we know our mom gets angry over something, we just, never mind, just go ahead, do it anyway. And by the time when we face the truth, that time, only then we will start to have all those sweaty palms and racing heartbeat and getting ready for the rotan, right? So yeah, all this childlike mentality. And why is it important for business strategy? Because it opens up the opportunities in the areas that we have yet to explore. We never run out of ideas on how to get things the way we want. We wouldn't be thinking so much in the end of the day, because we always hear this analysis paralysis. Yeah, having a lot more fear to step out from that comfort zone. So as a child, we have this never give up attitude. We want to constantly and continuously experiment to find ways to create what we want, as compared to we give excuses like, nah, that doesn't work. This person has tried it didn't work, so it wouldn't work because, etc., 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 etc. We are in of giving a lot of excuses. So we created a lot of no even before we make it happen. Yeah. So as you can see right now, our outward results and outcomes are all stemming from our inward transformation. Whatever that is inside us, just like the butterfly, how it transforms beautifully, it happens from inside. It doesn't happen from the external environment. So as long as we are conscious about our thoughts, yeah, our belief systems and our environment, making it as a habit, putting in effort to create that habit, we will be able to free ourselves from the autopilot chain and create a favorable outcome that we want in our business and in our lives. So the overall business transformation strategies look into the realignment between what's inside us to the outcome that we really, really want. Looking at the thoughts, the belief systems, and the environment, if it's serving us to the outcome that we want to go, or is it not? The second phase of transformation, we look into gamifying the workplace to reintroduce the child in us to spark that creativity, yeah, to have the fun, obviously the positive energy, because workplace doesn't necessarily be in all seriousness, yeah. In fact, an adult child brings so much creativity and innovation to the business when the mind is having a free will, a positive thought, and a curiosity out of it. And lastly, to sustain the business after finishing the internal transformation through realignment and implementing external transformation to the culture so that whatever effort that has been put, it lasts. So then we continue to document the system to review and embrace new elements coming into the business. Yeah, so this is the whole entire strategies that we have. However, due to time constraint, we only look at the beginning part, which is the realignment, the internalizing of who we are and how we feel and think that creates the outcome that we have today. So in order to move on, the first thing is to realize what are the lenses that we are wearing, what are the words that we are saying to ourselves, and ultimately what are our belief systems and our environment. So with that, I end my presentation, and thank you so much everyone for participating and playing all full out. Thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Angeline.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone feel free to add comment or ask question. And Angeline, especially now,
Yes.
the market is going through some form of shock, yeah, because the COVID-19 is one issue, and then now the potential or the financial crisis and the recession, and even talk about the potential depression is coming. So
Yeah.
how this aspect is important to the entrepreneur or even the team or the employee,
well,
when they are facing such a stressful situation, how they stay positive when everything is so negative and so difficult?
Yeah, what I've shared with my tribe, as always, I said the first thing is to be very, very mindful, to have that consciousness. Consciousness is very, very important because the brain functions. The brain's purpose is to ensure our survival. That's the primary function and the only function of our brain. Yeah. So when we panic and out of desperation, that panic feeling, it sends that trigger to the brain, and the brain switch on to that survival mode, and straight away the mind is not thinking logically on strategy. It was just focused on tactics on how to survive now, because it will no longer think about how can I grow my business, how can I make it bigger, better, and all those things. Because now the brain switch on to how am I supposed to survive now. That is a totally different kind of ball game. When we are not conscious of it, we allow that panic and desperation to comes in. We will tend to be, we will be blinded with what we need to focus on. So we just act out of desperation. We are no longer consciously, because we say we need to be conscious. So when we are conscious, we just pause and say that, okay, this is happening, right? We pause and look at this is happening. Be aware of what we need to do, or what is the outcome that we want. You know, we just survive, or are we going to thrive? The question is, do you just want to survive, or do you want to thrive? Because when you are aware, when we are aware what we want to do, then we can stop that reaction, stop reacting to the situation, jumping into the things that doesn't quite make sense, like rushing to grab all the toilet tissue papers. So you know, having that awareness, pausing on it, be aware, and then stop reacting, and then re-strategize in a proper manner moving forward. And all this requires high consciousness, high mindfulness, unless until we have that ability to look into ourselves, then we will constantly running on that circle again and again, and then that is very sad, because we goes down, that spiraling down to that desperation, because situation doesn't look good at this moment. I hate to tell this, but the fact is, reality is financial crisis is going to come. It is not going to end this soon. And the more that we can prepare ourselves emotionally, mentally, then we will be able to cope with it. Because then we will be able to strategize logically and not jumping into that desperation mode of locking down everything. Everything goes into a panic mode. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add or my perspective, because I have come across the area about amygdala, the part of the brain, the primitive brain.
Yep.
And also a midbrain, and then there is cerebral cortex that in our brain. So there's a tree structure in us. So amygdala brain is a primitive brain that we have many years ago. It's like our first generation. It's meant for survival. And the cerebral cortex is the advanced brain that we create solution to solve complicated problem. So the challenge is that when we are panic the time, the amygdala brain will hijack the entire system. So the person will actually go into survival mode. So what happens is that the amygdala will keep using the old technique and try to solve the new problem, which is not going to work. Because a new problem need new system, a new technique. Then because cerebral cortex already jammed and hijacked by amygdala, so then they will go into the negative spiral, you say. So is it something similar to your what you mentioned just now? So now the question is that the person in the negative spiral is like a person is drunk. It's like the person is drunk, then the person will always normally will say, I'm not drunk. So how the person get out of it, or how the friends or colleagues can help that?
Okay, I will just share a very quick exercise here, because this is exactly what I share with my tribe as well. The moment we catch ourselves having that anxiety or even depression or any kind of negative modes, the anger, the anxiousness, we list it down at one side of the paper. We write it down on a paper. What is it that we are feeling right now? Why are we feeling so? Is this going to be helpful in getting the outcome that we want? Write it down in the paper itself. So the answer is definitely not. It's not going to help in any way. So turning to the opposite side of that paper, the complete opposite side. So if this is not helping, what is it that's going to help us? Because then you are training the mind to shift. Training the mind to shift from what is not serving to what could be serving us. And then from there, we work backwards. So if this is what we need, how do we need to feel? And then because it quiets down the whole entire emotion and the brain immediately, because we are training the brain to actually start to allow that consciousness to come in, allow that brain to start to really analyze and look at it in a more common sense, logical manner. Yeah, so this is how I teach my clients.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, because I mean, many people also know about the right side and left side of the brain. One is the creative, emotional side, and the other side is the more logical side. So research has shown that one side can be dominant at one time only, usually. And so when we get stuck in the feelings, then the logical side doesn't work. That's why people say when emotion is up, then the intelligence is low. So, but however, if we switch over to asking questions and problem solving, then actually the emotion side can quieten down.
Yes.
And more to that is, I believe it was Anthony Robbins who said, the quality of your life is decided by the quality of your questions. So if your question is, how do I get my business to go back to normal? Then all you're going to find is either you can go back to normal or cannot go back to normal. Whereas if you ask about how can I be successful in life, then the whole possibility open up. So different type of question. Angeline and I also have gone through some similar similarly aligned programs and courses and mentors.
Yeah. So that's absolutely right, you know. And the thing is that our brain can be trained. That's why we call it the neuroplasticity. The brain constantly and continuously changing depending on what we feed onto it. So all this requires great skills and also great awareness. Unless we are aware of it, then we can do something about it. Yeah. So that's it.
Mm-hmm. So do you
Yeah.
offer any practices or group practices for client or for people to try it out? Especially time like this, I believe a lot of people looking for solution, especially after they know that the stress actually caused them to be dumb. Actually, it's like actually it's quite technically it's the stress
correct.
caused
Yeah.
the person to be dumb. Then they need to back to normal self. Then only
Yeah.
they can solve the problem. So I think then they need help, especially this is the first time they found that they need to do it. So do you have a group practice or anything that people can reach out to you?
Yes, I actually conduct my weekday lunch dates. I call it lunch dates because I only spare about 20 to 40 minutes with the group every weekday from 112 to 142 to actually address whatever challenges that they're having, whether it's emotionally, mentally, or behavior. Sometimes they can't control, you know, that they react out of sudden. So what can we do? So I have been conducting it for the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks already, and next week we are moving into the 4th week of conducting that session. So that's why I say some of the participants here, they have gone through my session so that they have experienced some of the things that I'm sharing today, but they realize how powerful the mind can be if they are very, very conscious of it. Yeah, and we tune their awareness so that this is a good time for them to start practicing that habit. And this is no better time than now because you're confined to space, you have so much time, and this is how you train the brain. Yeah.
That's good. That's true. So everyone, if you find yourself in certain situation that lack of idea and very stressful, don't do anything but contact agency first to get the mind to be back to normal, back to creative again. And thank you, Angeline,
Yeah.
and thank you, everyone. So we have reached the next session. Allow me to share my screen here. Yeah, we would like to push or means to request for feedback so that we will for the second session. Because every session the way we run is slightly different, so we hope to get your feedback so that we can further improve. Feel free to
I launch it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for the participants, feel free to let us know your feedback about this session. Yep, we have received 19 out of the 31 feedback so far.
It's okay, right? So I will continue.
Yep,
Okay.
I will end it.
Yep. Thank you. So we don't have any more time for extra question. Announcement. Today's discussion and talk show will be uploaded to YouTube. And any one of you keen to be a speaker in Asia Business Talk Show, please send or contact us at abts@acmfgroup.com. And we would like to appreciate Global Mission, Inspire Life International, ACMF BOSR Consulting, ACMF Business Application, ACMF Corporate Services, Digital, Human Capital, Strategy Alliances, and ACMF strategy and grow. Thank you, everyone, and I see you next Friday, same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. See you all.